There's a place in Indiana where a town once existed, but today there are no buildings, no streets, no signs it was ever there. Just a small cemetery hidden deep in the woods. This is the story of an Indiana town that vanished overnight. Southern Indiana is quiet in a way that feels intentional. Thick forests, narrow roads, places where cell service fades without warning. In Monroe County, not far from Morgan Monroe State Forest, there's a stretch of land most people pass without noticing. But if you leave the road and walk far enough into the trees, you'll eventually find something that doesn't make sense. A small clearing, old gravestones, names carved in stone into the stone. This place is known as Stepp Cemetery, and it's all that remains of a settlement once called Yellow Tavern. In the early 1800s, Yellow Tavern was a real Indiana community. Families lived here, children were born here, people worked the land and buried their dead here. The headstones date back more than 2 centuries. Some are cracked, some are barely readable, some list multiple deaths in the same year. But what's strange is what isn't here. There's no church foundation, there's no town square, there's no ruins of homes or buildings, there's no clear record of where the town actually stood. It's as if Yellow Tavern didn't fade away, it was erased. Most abandoned towns leave something behind: collapsed buildings, old roads, scraps of history. But here, there's nothing, just graves. The most commonly accepted explanation is disease. In the 1800s, outbreaks of smallpox and influenza could spread fast, especially in small, isolated communities. Entire families could die within days, and when that happened, people didn't always stay. They fled, sometimes without burying their dead properly, sometimes without even coming back. But there's a problem with this theory. Even towns wiped out by disease usually leave records, or at least stories that agree. Yellow Tavern stories don't. Another theory to explain this is an economic failure. The soil may have been exhausted from farming. Nearby towns may have been drawn people away. Railroads may have bypassed the area entirely. This happened all over Indiana through many communities, but economic decline is slow. People leave gradually, buildings rot over decades. Yellow Tavern feels different. It feels like it all happened very suddenly. Some local historians point to something darker. Frontier Indiana was not peaceful. Disputes over land, money, or loyalty could turn deadly. There are oral accounts passed down, never written, suggesting violence. Possibly a feud, possibly a killing that fractured the community beyond repair. In the 1800s, justice didn't always come from courts. Sometimes entire towns disappeared to avoid the consequences. But again, there's usually proof of that some way or another. But with this, there is no proof of that, just silence. Then there are the stories that don't appear in history books. People who visit Stepp Cemetery report the same things: a sudden stillness, the forest going quiet, a feeling of being watched. Some say they feel dizzy, disoriented, like time slowed down. Others report electronics failing without explanation. There's no evidence of anything supernatural here, but almost everyone describes the same feeling: that they don't belong there. Today, hikers who stumble across the cemetery often say they didn't mean to find it. They were just walking until they weren't sure where they were anymore. Some leave quickly, some leave in a frantic, some stay longer than they attended. And nearly all of them say the same thing afterwards: that something about this place feels unfinished. As if the land remembers something, even if we don't. Now, most towns don't disappear overnight. They shrink, they decay, they become forgotten slowly. Yellow Tavern didn't. It vanished. No farewell, no ruins, no clear explanation. Just a cemetery hidden in the woods, marking lives that once filled a place that no longer exists. Now, if you walk through Stepp Cemetery today, you'll see names carved into stone, but no record of where these people went. Whatever happened here, it was enough to make an entire town disappear. And if towns can vanish, maybe some places were never meant to be remembered.